right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, chilling new details in the Central Visual and Performing Arts School shooting.
He came to the school and he hunted for queer students.
The shooter's plans revealed. The community he targeted reacts 2 years later.
Warm winds, the gusty breeze pushes temperatures to near record highs Tuesday. I'll show you the weather impacts as we head toward Halloween.
Our top story, a delivery data breach, putting your packages up for grabs.
It can happen anywhere.
The local crime caught on camera, catching the FBI's attention. New tonight at 10, a warning from the Crestwood Police Department about a new kind of porch pirate. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Police say an AT&T data breach leaked information that allowed thieves to get shipment information on electronics. 5 on Your Side's Laura Marcheski is live at the Crestwood Police Department, and Laura spoke to one of the victims. Laura.
Mike, Crestwood police tell me with stolen information, the thieves knew exactly when that package was going to be delivered and could steal it right off the porch just a few minutes later.
We have this wall in front of our door that kind of protects our packages. We've never had another package stolen.
But Dan Rolfing says the porch pirates got to them just 2 weeks ago when his new phone from AT&T was being delivered by FedEx while they were out of town.
Within 20 minutes of the original package being delivered, it was stolen.
Luckily, he has cameras that caught the whole incident. You can see here the real FedEx driver drops off the package at 5:15. Then a few minutes later, the thief comes to the porch.
And I looked at the camera video, and it was another guy in a FedEx shirt, but he was not driving a FedEx truck. He had a red SUV parked out here on the street, but it looked like he dropped another package off because I didn't see him carry anything away.
His daughter arrived 10 minutes after the thief to pick up his phone and found an empty box. When he looked at another camera angle, he saw the thief actually swap the boxes.
Called AT&T, told them the package has just been delivered and then stolen, and they deactivated it on their network.
Crestwood Police and the FBI are both investigating as this same crime is happening in other states. Police say FedEx shipping information on electronics was stolen in an AT&T data breach.
Thieves are buying that information and decoding it, and then knowing that way they know where to go, the package will be delivered, what time, and things of that nature.
Thanks to security cameras and license plate readers, they were able to stop 2 people involved and arrested a man from Ohio, but ended up having to release him until they could get more to officially charge him. Now they have enough to charge both people with Class D felonies.
At this point, as far as I know, they're back in Cleveland, Ohio. So once they get arrested, they will be brought back to St. Louis and charged in the St. Louis County with the crime.
Crestwood police say it's really important to watch out for this kind of thing, especially if you're getting an iPhone or electronics delivered to your home. And then if that does happen, report it to police right away and turn it into AT&T as well as FedEx. And 2 things you can do to try and prevent it: require a signature or simply go pick up the package yourself at a shipping facility. Reporting live in Crestwood, Laura Marcheski, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, Belleville firefighters are trying to determine what caused a house fire that killed 3 family members. It happened this morning on 13th and Lincoln Streets, just west of downtown Belleville. A neighbor told us 2 of the 3 men who died were father and son.
I know them very well. They're good people. I mean, they're good people. George, the youngest one, George and I have been friends forever, but we've all lived here for 40 years. He's a good family, and it's sad that what happened.
Depper says his friend George lost his father, 70-year-old George Pappas, his brother, 39-year-old Pio Quinto Pappas, and 20-year-old Christopher Ellis. Fire investigators say most of the damage is near the kitchen.
Taking a live look now at downtown St. Louis, where warm winds are taking away that fall feel ahead of Halloween. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now, and he's tracking something else coming this way that could impact your trick-or-treating, right, Scott?
Yes, we are. For Halloween, we will see some rain in St. Louis, but not necessarily for the trick-or-treaters. It will happen earlier in the day. Right now, hard to believe, we are at 10 o'clock at night. It is still 77 degrees in St. Louis. Clouds, stiff breeze blowing across the region out of the south. That's really the focus for the next couple of days, that breeze and the warmth. Near record highs tomorrow. Late Wednesday night into early Thursday, we'll have some rain. It'll be gone by Thursday evening. So what we're tracking is this big dip in the jet stream out to our west. As that slides on to the east, not only are we on the warm side of it now, but we will get into the unsettled side of that overnight Wednesday night from about midnight until 7 a.m. Thursday. It's not a weather impact alert. We're going to have an area, a line of showers and a few rumbles of thunder. Maybe one or two of the storms has a bit of a gusty breeze with it. But for the most part, we just don't see the chances of severe weather being all that big of a problem. And it's happening overnight. We always remind you to keep your devices charged up. We'll keep tracking it. And if that changes and the storms look stronger, of course, we'll be the first to let you know about it. We'll also let you know in just a few minutes why this system keeps moving, and the trick-or-treaters will be happy later in the day, Mike.
Tonight, new reaction after investigators released a long-awaited report on the mass shooting at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School.
This comes only days after the deadly 2-year anniversary. 5 on Your Side's Andy Kroll heard from local leaders about the communities the shooter targeted.
This is just part of the 456-page police report publicly released by St. Louis Metro Police today, talking about the CVPA shooting in October of 2022. One of the most jarring findings for people in St. Louis is that in a shooter manifesto, police say LGBTQ+ people were one of the main targets.
2 years later, a police report reveals why 19-year-old Orlando Harris targeted this St. Louis art school. The comprehensive document drawing from nearly 70 St. Louis police officers' accounts and the shooter's personal manifesto, uncovering a planned attack against LGBTQ students.
If we keep repeating this disinformation about how bad LGBT people are, how demonic queer people are, of course it's going to make people think that we're second-class citizens and that we're animals and we should be targeted and we should be hunted. And that's basically what people do. That's basically what he did. He came to the school and he hunted for queer students.
The attack claimed the lives of a beloved teacher and student, leaving several others wounded. Jordan Braxton, Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Outreach at Pride St. Louis, reflects on the devastating impact to a school known as a haven for artistic expression.
It just hurt my heart to know that that sanctuary for creativity was invaded, and it hurt those kids there that are trying to just live their best lives.
Robert Fisher of Promo, Missouri, an LGBTQ rights advocacy group, lives in the Tower Grove neighborhood. He was nearby on October 24th, 2022.
At first I was like, maybe it's a drill, maybe it's, they were chasing someone down the street. And then to learn that this was a tragedy that happened so close to home.
The report also reveals Harris had planned additional attacks of violence, including targeting his own family by burning down his home with them inside.
I think everyone thinks the same thing where, oh, it's never going to happen here, and then it does, and it's one of the most horrific things that you could think of.
Today's police report says Harris's family tried to prevent him from having a gun after his mental health challenges and suicidal thoughts. Police interviewing a psychiatrist who had Harris as a patient in August 2022. 2 months later, he walked into CVPA with an AR-15 style rifle and eventually was shot and killed by police, which is why Braxton and Fisher are continuing to advocate for mental health resources in the bi-state to try to prevent future devastating tragedies.
We wouldn't wish anything like this to happen to anyone.
New tonight, the family of Ferguson officer Travis Brown speaks out about his long road to recovery. It's been nearly 3 months now since he suffered a serious brain injury after being knocked to the ground during a protest. His injury hit our community hard, with so many of you donating to help with the family's medical bills. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon joins us in studio ahead of another fundraiser happening all day tomorrow. Brent.
Well, Kelly, it's called Dine Out for TJ, a host of restaurants pledging to donate a portion of their sales to his family. This, as the officer's own sister tells us, how little signs of progress are giving them remarkable hope.
He's smiling, he's able to squeeze hands.
Emotions clearly visible to Officer Travis Brown's loved ones. His family tells us the officer saw his young daughters last week for the first time since he was severely hurt. His sister says Brown smiled and cried.
He's not at the point where he can communicate, but he's shown us responsiveness, and we do believe he knows what's going on.
Back in August, a group of people were rallying outside the Ferguson Police Department following 10 years since Mike Brown's death. Following a peaceful demonstration, things turned violent. Suspect Elijah Gant is accused of charging at Officer Brown, knocking him to the ground. He's been in the hospital ever since.
There are moments where he's awake and they're doing little things to help him, move his body, stand him up, sit him down upright.
He's still in the fight. He's still fighting. It's something to fight for.
Over at Cyberg's restaurant, staff are preparing to welcome customers tomorrow who want to support Brown. Tuesday, owners will donate 10% of sales to help with the officer's medical expenses. And take a look at all of the other restaurants getting in on the action too. Cafe Telegraph will donate 30% of its sales. Boba Q and the Sushi House offering 20%. The family says every little bit helps.
Come on now, it's a good cause, spread the love in different ways. Even if it's just eating here, that 10% goes a long way.
We see the power in numbers of all the prayers, so thank you so much.
All right, the family set a fundraising goal of $200,000. Because of you, they're only $34,000 shy of it. There's also a GoFundMe. You can find a link to it on KSDK.com.
We are almost a week away from Election Day, and today more than 20,000 people voted in St. Louis County ahead of November 5th.
However, Five on Your Side found that with so many people at the polls, all the differing opinions caused tensions to rise.
You don't need manipulating people while they're trying to do their legal right to vote without disrupting people, and you're disrupting people. You stand out there, well then why are you wasting your time?
Missouri law allows vigorous campaigning at least 25 feet away from a polling place's door. Election officials have urged Missouri politicians to expand the radius farther away from polling sites to protect voters from aggressive electioneering.
A live look tonight from the White House as both candidates make their final push to win over the swing states. I guess we'll not see that White House, but Vice President Kamala Harris appeared in Michigan today. She met with factory workers and pushed her plans to build a better relationship between the government and the private sector before hosting a rally in Ann Arbor. And there's former President Donald Trump, who spent the day in Georgia attending the National Faith Summit and addressing over 1,000 faith leaders before heading to his Atlanta rally.
As we rescue our economy, I will also restore our borders. Over the past 4 years, Kamala Harris has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted.
And let's be clear, we are all here because we are fighting for a democracy and for the right of people to be heard and seen. We're not about the enemy within. We know we are all in this together. That's what we are fighting for.
For more on every race that you'll see in November, you can check out our voter guide at KSDK.com. For a link, text the word guide to 314-425-5355.
A city at a standstill with workers and city leaders in a standoff over pay.
The neighborhood is starting to go downhill.
Bell Fountain residents caught in the crossfire of a city hall brawl. Dresser disasters, putting your children at risk.
Every parent's nightmare.
Consumer Reports puts the furniture to the test, making sure safety isn't falling off.
Tonight, we're tracking the best chance of decent rain we've had so far this month. Although most of that rain comes on Halloween, I'll show you why that's not as bad as it sounds.
Tonight, the City Hall in Bellefontaine Neighbors is locked and will be until further notice. Today, all non-essential employees held a walkout as they demand a pay raise. There was supposed to be a Board of Aldermen meeting tonight, but it was canceled. We caught up with several residents who are upset that city leaders haven't acted yet.
People need help.
Everybody needs a job. Everyone needs a raise. Times is changing. Everything is high. So yes, they may need a pay raise. Give it to them. Allocate the money where it's supposed to be allocated at.
A number of Board of Aldermen and the city's mayor refused to comment.
Is a dangerous product hiding in plain sight in your child's bedroom? It could be the dresser you use every day.
Many dressers are safer than before thanks to new safety standards, but older models could still pose a deadly risk. Consumer Reports details what you need to know to keep your kids safe.
For years, furniture tip-overs have injured and even killed far too many children.
Our family woke up on the morning of December 18th, 2004, to every parent's nightmare. Our beautiful 3-year-old twin daughter, Megan, was found lifeless beneath her dresser. It had tipped over on her.
Since her tragic loss, Kimberly Amato and other parents have been fighting for change. They finally won the hard-fought victory when the Sturdy Act went into effect late last year, setting stricter rules for furniture manufacturers to prevent tip-overs.
The good news is all the dressers that we tested that were built after September 2023 did pass our rigorous tip-over tests.
I was thrilled.
Consumer Reports tests include pulling out the drawers and hanging 60-pound weights from one of the top drawers for at least 10 seconds, simulating a child climbing or hanging off the furniture. If the dresser stays upright, it passes. But it doesn't mean every dresser in every bedroom is safe. Older dressers prone to tip-overs are still on the market. In fact, 2 dressers manufactured before September 2023 failed CR's recent tests. Both Ashley and Bassett confirmed that their dressers had been built before the new standard went into effect.
This new rule only applies to dressers that were built after September 2023. So anything built before this date doesn't have to meet those new requirements, but it can still be sold.
Responses from retailers have varied. IKEA announced in April that all its U.S. dressers now meet the new standard, while Bassett Furniture told CR that 10 to 20% of its dressers currently being sold were built before September 2023. Target said they expect all dressers sold to pass the new tip-over tests, and Amazon said all its dressers are compliant with the Sturdy Act. So what does this mean for you? If you're shopping for a dresser, here are some tips. Shop in person. Ask when the dresser was made and if it meets Sturdy Act requirements. For online shoppers, look for a manufacture date after September 1st, 2023. Even if the furniture meets Sturdy standards, always use the anchor kit that comes with your dresser. It's now required by law.
I can think of no better way to honor Maggie's legacy and that of all of the Pat children than to know that the standard that we fought so hard for works.
Other retailers contacted by CR include Wayfair, who said it is possible some of its dressers that it sells were made before September 2023. Costco and Walmart did not respond.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell again. Okay, we are almost in November. And Scott, the temperature's in the 70s tonight.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's after 10 o'clock. It's still 70 degrees over in Flora, Illinois, 72 in Mount Vernon. In town and around the metro area, mid to upper 70s right now. Chesterfield. Normally, the Chesterfield Valley is one of the spots that really cools off quickly. Well, not tonight. We have a stiff breeze across the area. That wind out of the south, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tell you what, if you have an early morning flight tomorrow morning going out of Lambert, it is going to be bumpy from takeoff through a little bit. You know, we got the first 10,000 feet. It's going to be a pretty bumpy ride early tomorrow morning because we got a lot of wind just off the ground, and you've got that low-level wind shear to bounce you around tonight. But that wind is stirring things up, and that's keeping those temperatures up tonight. That along with those high clouds. There's a pretty good veil of high cloud cover across the area. 77 actually feels like 79 degrees. I mean, heat index. Come on, it's the end of October. 58 your dew point. 81 was a high temperature today. It's even warmer for us tomorrow. Temperatures tonight, we think we're going down into the 60s, but it's going to take a bit of a push here to actually get those temperatures to drop that low. So starting out close to 70 tomorrow, certainly in town. We do expect the clouds to thin out, but winds could gust to 35 miles per hour tomorrow, near record highs. 2016, we were up to 86. We're forecasting 85 tomorrow. Here's your big dip in the jet stream out to our west, coming on shore in the west coast. That is giving us the warm temperatures right now. All the unsettled weather remains well to our west. It will arrive as we head into Wednesday night and into very early on Thursday. So from midnight to 7 a.m. Thursday, there will be a line of showers and thunderstorms. Doesn't look like they're all that intense. We'll keep our devices charged just to be safe, but this is coming through overnight, not a big severe weather threat. In fact, we're mainly dry here tomorrow, even into Wednesday. We stay breezy into Wednesday. Clouds will thicken on Wednesday. There might be an isolated spritz or light shower, but most of the weather action on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening is focused across Kansas, western, northwestern Missouri, up into Iowa, eventually building south along that front. They'll be strong at that point, but by the time they get to us after midnight, they're just kind of fizzling out and drifting through. This is early in the morning on Halloween Day, so while it technically will rain on Halloween, and that chance is pretty high early on in the morning, the chances go to near zero as we head towards the evening hours. So our trick-or-treaters will have temperatures right around 60 degrees. That's pretty decent for Halloween in St. Louis. Not a lot worse, that's for sure. 85, your top temperature tomorrow. That is near a record high. We could nip that record and maybe tie it. Maybe go above it. If the winds were more southwest, we'd definitely be pushing for that record high. But you think that south wind is, then the high clouds probably going to limit that. After we get through the early morning Thursday rain, by Sunday into Monday, probably into Election Day and into next Wednesday and Thursday, the longest chance for some decent rain that we've had in a while.
Well, we know kiddos don't like wearing their coats over their costumes.
60's okay,
Yeah,
right?
they don't have to worry about it this year.
Right.
All right. All right, Scott, thank you. Sports with Frank is next.
I wore a parka over my Joe Namath jersey on Halloween when I was 10. We'll have the latest on Brady Cook, Mizzou basketball landing a very talented player from the area, and an NFL player took himself out of a game because he was tired. You got to see this story.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
It's the $550 million payroll World Series with the Yankees and Dodgers. Likely each team has 3 Hall of Famers. You look at these lineups and Cardinal fans have to ask themselves, how in the world could we ever compete against all that firepower? As we speak, the Yankees are not competing against the Dodgers. LA leads it 4-0 in the 9th inning. If the Dodgers win, they would lead the series 3-0.
Sunday Night Quarterback is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
After watching Drew Pine throw 3 interceptions against Alabama, Mizzou's season now hinges on one thing: Brady Cook's throwing hand. This afternoon, he texted me and wrote, "Day by day, going well." Cook, who moved pretty well on his injured ankle, initially injured his hand on this play out of bounds. And then a few minutes later, his hand hit the helmet of one of his offensive linemen. The college football playoff appears to be a pipe dream, but according to Brady, there's plenty to play for.
I'm going to tell the guys, hey, we have 4 games left. Let's go win them. Let's go win them. 10-win seasons are hard to come by. There's only so many teams at the end of the season. They're going to have 10 wins on their schedule that you can see. It's rare. It is. Whether it gets us into the playoffs or not, it's something to be proud for. It's something to play for. And, that's the goal right now.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there, what I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told saying I just needed a break right there.
This is kind of amazing. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson took himself out of yesterday's game with the Texans after he was forced to scramble on back-to-back plays. Richardson is in his 2nd season with Indy, and although he's shown much promise, he has struggled this year. So this is rough to see. Here's what they think.
We had a conversation about it, and I think he knows it's not the standard that that he needs to play up to, and the rest of the team holds him to. And I'll kind of leave the conversation that we had at that. He's young. I'm sure it's a learning moment for him.
Obviously, in those situations, he knows, right, on those type of deals, like, you can't take yourself out. And, it's a learning experience for him, and he's got to grow from it.
Hopefully he'll be great next week. Monday Night Football, the Steelers hosting the Giants in the 3rd quarter. Calvin Austin will take the punt. He sees daylight and runs to it. It's 73 yards and 6 points. Right now, Pittsburgh leads it 26-18 late in the 4th quarter. The Mizzou basketball program got a commitment today from a former Vashon star, Nicholas Randall. He's regarded as about a top 100 player in the class of 2025. Randall is playing at a prep school this season in Arizona. He's 6'8". He has a dominating presence around the rim. Mizzou has got themselves a power forward. In St. Louis, we have ourselves a soccer ambassador. There may have been better players than Bill McDermott, but he's on an island in terms of promoting the sport. McDermott had a distinguished playing career at St. Louis University, winning 2 national championships in '67 and '69. He's in more halls of fame than a president, and no one has promoted SLU soccer more than Bill. In fact, they named the press box after him. Well, McDermott recently found out he's the winner of the Clay Bierling Media Career Excellence Award. Only 4 others have received this national honor. It's always been about St. Louis soccer for Bill.
Always talking about the St. Louis player, what St. Louis has done to sell the sport.
to give it a new heightened cachet and awareness and respectability.
Bill McDermott is a treasure for St. Louis.
He really is. Frank, thanks. Coming up, McFlurry meltdowns never again. Why it took a federal agency to finally fix McDonald's ice cream machines. McFlurries are back on the menu. The U.S. Copyright Office passed a ruling giving McDonald's full power to fix their own ice cream machines when they break. The company making the machines used to own the exclusive rights to repair them, meaning the restaurants couldn't fix them themselves. The broken machines have gained a massive following. There's even a website tracking how many are broken across the country.
I didn't know it was that big of a thing, ice cream
Apparently
there.
so. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.